Well, gorgeous day in Florida in the winter, and it's about 70 degrees. You know, people can be given an ability to work magical cures on themselves. And they were. When they were created, they got it. It's part of everybody. And they won't use it. You know, I used to do an enlightenment talk in my courses. And one of the things I said in it is the suffering that you have in your life is the exact amount of suffering you need to make reality real. And out of context, I'm sure that makes absolutely no sense to you. And you're like sitting there going, well, where'd that come from? It came from the Enlightenment talk in the Course. That's where it came from. So, and the Course doesn't exist anymore. We don't give it. So you're shit out of luck. Day late and a dollar short. Story of your life. As we say here in Florida, out in the boondocks, which is what this was when I moved here, but it's not anymore. Now it's shopping center city. This one of my neighbors was saying, time to move out in the middle of the state. That's where you have to go now. I don't even think it's like that out there, but maybe. You know, I had a real awakening recently because, you know, I've cured some things since I first met Franny and Greg. And they really haven't seen that in action, I realized. You know, so they relate to me like I'm not cured because, you know, what you can't see isn't there. And so I realized that I have to be more indulgent, or to put it another way, just not expect people to see me in the way I am now. What our perception of other people is a series of photographs that we've taken in our mind, mental photos of them at various stages. And they really never have a photo of you having cured what you just cured, unless you did it with them, which is one reason it is such a big help to have other people curing things with you. Something I've also said many times is that if you have a medically incurable disease, you better get a group of people to spend shifts with you. And you always need two. You know, one isn't enough. But, you know, maybe you don't need more than that. I used to say, like, you had to get 30 people to come live in your house for, you know, till your cancer's gone. But maybe what you need is a rotating group of, like, let's say 9 people, and you get together on Sunday every week for 3 hours and hang out and share and talk about yourselves. And they have to cure things too. You know, nobody is going to be much help to you if they sit there and watch while you try to cure something. I mean, it may be better than nothing, but it's probably not that great. But let me put it this way, do not trust yourself. Do not trust yourself. Don't trust yourself to do it. I've had so many people say to me, well, if this works, I'll do it. It doesn't. They are utterly clueless. And what I basically did with those people was I ignored them. I don't, look, there are some people who they don't play well with others. Most people don't play well with others. And, another thing is people who try to do this are very unusual. Because think about it, like if somebody gets cancer, they're not going to go on the web and look for a cure. They're going to go to their primary care physician and ask him about a cure. They'll never find this. So if you want people to hang with you and do this, you have to get them to promise, to make a commitment. They have to say, I will show up at these times. And I would suggest that everybody on your team has a time that they show up every day. And then the Sunday thing everybody comes to. But then for the rest of Sunday, you have this, you never take a day off. If you're dying from something, you don't take days off from curing. It's really funny because there's this nutritionist I like named Jeffrey Berg, who I've learned a lot from. You can just look him up on YouTube. I watch his YouTube movies. And, one thing, he made a movie about, can you have a cheat day on your diet that he prescribes for you? And he said, he asked his wife, can you have a cheat day in a marriage? Because that's what it's like to really do something for yourself. It's like you're marrying it. You're committing your life, the rest of your life, to this. Which is another reason why people, there are a lot of people who start out and they have real good luck curing something. And then, for whatever reason, one reason is probably that I don't spend my life hanging out with them, they just decide to try adding something else in or whatever, That's the last I ever hear from them. So when you are, because you know what this is? It's connection with God. And I think you'd probably agree that if you are connecting with God, and if God did exist, and if you were able to hear what he's telling you, then it would be for the rest of your life. Like your relationship with God would be for the rest of your life. So, and this is God. That's who gives you this ideomotor response in your finger. It's not your motor. Your motor is idio. God is connecting with you. And see, and that's another thing. You choose to let God in, but God chooses to connect. Even though it seems like God is very dependable and He's always there, it's easy to take God for granted. But she is choosing to connect with you every time your finger moves. Just as it's as much of a choice as the one you make to open yourself up to getting that signal. So, just remember that none of your friends know you. Nobody knows you. You're a big secret because they can't see what just happened to you a second ago. And enlightenment always happens in the previous instant of your life. And before that, you weren't enlightened.